Brought to you by Grizzly Eagle Studio.
Hey people, it's Kiko from GEStudio, and in this video I'm going to talk to you guys about how to jungle with Fiddle. I'll quickly talk about the whole setup and progression and then leave you a pretty sweet gameplay I had in a rank lobby the other day. I think Fiddle is definitely in the top 3 best junglers on League. This is because his abilities and combination allow you to focus on 2 or more targets at any one time. So with a 3-second fear, once you have it fully upgraded, the ganks are just too strong. So you're going to want to max your fear and then work your way around your abilities afterwards. As soon as you have your ulti, you're going to want to gank with it straight away, because if your engage and timing is on point, then that's a kill for sure. That's what Fiddle is all about, engaging and then popping your abilities in the correct combination. So it's all about timing. I'll talk about the combination in a little bit once I've gone through all the items. Early game Fiddle is weak, but it just snowballs from there, and in my opinion, one of the strongest champs late game. So first item to buy is Amplifying Tome. Gives you that extra ability power, so jungle clearance is that little quicker, and if you go for a level 3 or level 4 gank, then it gives you that extra likelihood of securing a kill. But I personally wouldn't recommend the level 2 gank because it just doesn't work. Also, get 1 health pot, and this is just in case if there is an invade, then you have that health pot for backup. I don't buy one in the gameplay later on, but that's just something I've recently started to do, even though I still haven't been killed in an invade with Fiddle. It's just there as a safety net. Once you go through the jungle a few times and do a few ganks here and there, you should have enough money for sorcerer shoes before you go back out to get your second blue. It is ideal if you get the first 3 blue buffs as Fiddle, but depending on who your mid champ is, you might have to cut that down to the first 2. If you're lucky enough to be the only AP mana dependent champ on your team, then a Fiddle with blue for a majority of the game is dangerous. You can constantly farm, gank and generally cause trouble. People keep saying Fiddle is easy to counter jungle, but this is definitely not true. I was in a game the other day and had more or less nearly every single blue stolen from me, but then you just flip your strategy, place a ward on blue and then corner the counter jungler in with your bot and mid providing quick support, or top depending on which side of the map you spawn, and with your fear pick up an easy kill. If you don't get the blue back, then simply buy a few mana pots. Depending on how the game is going, the next item you should build up is Zhonya's Hourglass. With this item you can do crazy plays. Tower dive bot with your ult, pop your combination. Once you get to quarter health, activate Hourglass. Tower starts hitting another target, ADC gets a double kill, Fiddle walks off to carry on with his business. Late game Fiddle will be number 1 focus for the enemy team, so that's another reason for the item. It generally catches the enemy team by surprise all the time, especially in teamfights, so it really is essential. Next in the list we have Hextech's Revolver. Pretty self-explanatory. You might think there is no need for it considering Fiddle has Drain, but that's the whole point. For an ability that does damage every second regardless, Hextech is simply the frosting on the cake. Rabadon's Death Cap. Enough said. Then you're going to want to upgrade your Hextech to Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. This is the same as if you went from drinking some thick milkshake through a straw to drinking water from a straw. Now I'd say roughly 75% of my games playing with Fiddle, I don't really get the chance to buy any more items, because then either my team wins or we lose, and this is around more or less the 35-minute mark. But if it does get into late game, then Fiddle turns into Godzilla, simple as that. The enemy team will realise that Fiddle is becoming the number 1 problem, so they will start buying some magic resist items. To counter this, the next item on the list is Abyssal Scepter. You get 3 for the price of 1 with this item. Magic penetration, ability power and some magic resist, lovely. So now you have ability power, some armor, some magic resist, magic pen and spell vamp. Now you need to seal the deal. Last item I would recommend would be Deathfire Grasp. With this you get 120 ability power, which is crazy, 10% cooldown reduction, so combined with the runes I'll show you later on, you'll have fear and drain up at all times. This is the item you also want to initiate a fight with. Once it hits the enemy, it amplifies magic damage they take by 20% for 4 seconds, so in 1v1 situations when you see Fiddle, you better start running. There are many combinations for different situations, but here is the most important one, and that's for team fights. You have to be the player to engage, and this is by using your ulti over a wall or out from a bush. Depending on how long it takes your team to react will depend on when you pop your Hourglass. If they take their time, then activate it more or less straight away, because you don't want to get burst down. Once you come out of it, your team should be all over them. Then you throw your E, then you throw your Deathfire Grasp on their most dangerous champ, fear him or her and then drain that mofo. It does take practice to get everything on point, but definitely one of the strongest combinations in the game. I've set the mastery page up so it fits around Fiddle really well, gives him some ability power, faster recall, longer duration with the blue buff and a few smaller details. As for the runes, there's a bit of everything. The mark gives him magic pen, the seal gives him late game ability power, the glyph gives him early game ability power, and the quintessence gives him late game cooldown reduction. Now you might be thinking, but how about armor, MR or health? But really, Zhonya and Abyssal Scepter is all you need. As long as you don't get caught out, say in their jungle doing something stupid, the enemy team simply can't touch you. So that's that. I hope this video helps you out. If you have a similar setup with a few smaller changes, then let us know. Just remember, no matter what anybody tells you, there is no one way of building a champion. Whatever you feel most comfortable with and works best with your type of play is the build you should work towards. To watch the ranked gameplay I mentioned earlier, click here or you can find it on my channel. Apart from that, I'm bouncing guys. Take it easy people.